Well, Mike Neville is with me, as I say, the former Metropolitan Police Detective. Mike, great to have you in studio.
Good evening.
Lots to talk about today. I want to get official recognition in a second, but Paige Mengers, who is the owner of the luxury resale fashion store Phoenix Style, is with me now as well. Paige, good evening to you.
Good evening.
I'm going to get to Mike in a second, but Paige, first of all, you could tell us how big a problem is shoplifting for you?
Oh, it's enormous. This year, both of my stores were targeted one day after each other. And the men who came in were armed with tools to cut all the wires and steal all the luxury bags. And, you know, it's becoming it's not a problem, it's an epidemic. It's really, really bad. And we can't, there's nothing we can do, nothing much we can do, because these guys come in armed. They know what they're doing, and it's really scary.
So you're selling luxury fashion items, high ticket items, expensive items. You've been targeted specifically for this. What do the police do when you call them?
Well, on that occasion, they didn't come at all.
They didn't come at all.
No, they didn't. They gave us a reference number, and then I was really angry, and I went onto social media and got quite a bit of media coverage, and then they did, and now we're working with the police. So we had an incident on Monday, and the police have been great. They've come in and helped, but this is not going away, and I don't know how we can stop it. And hiding our stock at the back of the shop is not going to do it.
Well, of course, and I mean, all your stock, I would imagine, there are very few items in your stock that aren't high-ticket items anyway. So when the government says don't put them at the front of your shop, I mean, do you find that as patronising as I did, Paige?
Oh, unbelievably patronising, and it makes me so angry, because I don't think they realise what retail is about, and our high streets are dying. And if we're going to be hiding the stock that we sell at the back of our shop and locking it away, what is the point of having a store on the high street? What is the point?
Mike, what Paige is talking about there is really the experience of so many shop owners who just don't feel they're supported by the police at the moment.
No, they're not supported. I mean, even yesterday I bought some chicken goujons from a major retailer, a supermarket in the New Forest, and there was a tag on a packet of chicken goujons.
Goodness me, they're not exactly
this is not the handbags that Paige is looking at.
It's not.
And I just feel sorry for Paige, because it's like any other shopkeeper. I spoke to two ladies who run a local post office and supermarket on Stoke-on-Trent, and they were saying to me that people just walk in. At one time, if you put an image of a shoplifter up on Google, you'll have somebody concealing something under their jacket. Now they walk in with a basket, they just literally walk out, threaten the ladies that are behind the counter, just saying, if you do anything, we know where you live. And so it really lands towards a societal breakdown that you think, why should I pay? Because everybody else just walks out, and obeying the rules is becoming the stupid option.
Well, what about this idea that the public should stand up to shoplifters? What do you make of that?
Well, I would intervene. If I was in a shop and somebody attacked those old ladies, I would intervene. But you're asking members of the public to get involved if somebody steals some coffee or some chicken goujons or a handbag. What has that person got on them? Have they got a knife? Have they got a needle or whatever? And what I saw in London, for example, there's been a 38% increase in robberies in commercial premises. And I think what this is, commercial premises being the shops and the like, is that when shoplifters are challenged, detained, suddenly they become violent, and what was a simple theft becomes a robbery. So you've got people who you really don't know who you're dealing with. Who could bite you, could stab you, could stick a needle in you for the sake of some coffee. It's all right, Matthew Barber, the Thames Valley Police and Crime Commissioner, saying this, but you can't ask members of the public. And just recently we've had a member of the public arrested because he detained a shoplifter. The shoplifter died. Now, so what support's been given to these people? It just seems ridiculous. What we need is a crackdown on prolific thieves. Very few people are stealing to feed their baby, feed their children. People are stealing to order, and if there's 1,000 thefts, it doesn't mean there's 1,000 thieves. It means there are 10 thieves doing 100 each.
Paige, what happened in your store, were you physically there at the time?
I wasn't personally, but I had members of staff there. And I've actually lost some members of staff because they were just so frightened and scared, because they came in with tools and their tools were visible. And then one of them was barricading the door So it was really very targeted, and they knew exactly what they wanted, and they knew exactly where it was. So it was very planned, and I would never want any of my staff ever to get involved and injure themselves.
Would you do you feel more confident now that it won't happen again, that the police are more on your side because of the coverage that you've received, Paige, or do you feel they could just come in tomorrow and do the same thing?
They can come in tomorrow and do the same thing, and they probably will. And we've had to now invest more money in more security. I do feel that the police have listened because I've made such a noise, and I thank them for that. But
you shouldn't have had to have made such
a.
You shouldn't have had to have made such a noise,
No.
Paige. You should have. They should have been there to support you in the first place. You talk about more security measures. Do you have security guards in store or not?
So we've got a number of things. We've got new security on the door, so the doors are locked, and then we can buzz people in and out.
Yeah.
We have tighter security on the bags, so there's new things. Our CCTV is amazing, and that's what helped us catch the perpetrators in the first time. And then we also are building cabinets where a lot of the stock is going to be hidden away.
Yeah. Would you expect we have this police and crime commissioner saying that the public should stand up to shoplifters. Would you expect your customers to stand up to shoplifters? Do you think that's a reasonable thing to ask people to do?
No, it's utterly ridiculous. It's obviously someone who is so out of touch with what is happening on the high street and with retail in general. There's no way. We were very lucky. A lot of our customers in our stores noticed some of the getaway cars that our perpetrators were using, so they could recognize them. And that sort of help would be fine, but I would never expect anyone to go and try and stop someone coming into my store who's armed.
Yeah. Paige, thank you very much for joining us. That's Paige Mengers there, who is the owner of the luxury resale fashion stores Phoenix Style. And Mike, what Paige was saying there really has echoed with so many people I've spoken to. I've spoken to a security guard this afternoon, I've spoken to retailers previously, spoken to members of the public as well. And actually, Steve in Sussex says in the Brighton lanes to get into jewellers, they have locked doors, only let one or two people in at one time. You can check ID before they walk in and do not let groups or suspicious looking people in at all. That's fine in the jewellers. You can't exactly do that with a local supermarket or something like that.
And this is the problem. And people, what you've got is a government who, very few of them ever run a business, so they have no comprehension that people have actually got to sell things to make a living, whether they put those goods in the most attractive parts so people do want to buy them. But the whole thing, if you look back at Theresa May's government, when they reduced this, what they call minor shoplifting, under £200, to an offence where you could just be given the equivalent of a traffic ticket, it really went wrong there because the police lost focus on it. They just didn't concentrate on that. And the thieves knew. If you're a thief, you know that somebody's steal 5 times £199,
yeah,
and you're going to literally get away with it. And it is. And what it's doing all the time is the shopkeepers, like the chap in Wrexham, who was, he
spoke to him last Friday.
Maybe Paige should have put a sign up saying scumbags, and the police would have been quicker around there. But what you have the ridiculous situation is that the police, and there's a cartoon in the Telegraph showing that the police are almost like focusing on the wrong people. They're picking on the shopkeepers and the law-abiding, and it's really tragic to see in Britain that the law-abiding people have just lost all faith in the authorities and the police to do something about crime. It's really tragic.
Could facial recognition be the key to solving this and maybe other crimes? It's going to be at least trialled in police forces in England. I know that's something you've called on forces to do for quite a while.
Well, I'm more towards the afterwards. After the crime has been committed, look at all the images. The police in England have hundreds of thousands of images of people committing crime that have been captured on CCTV, which has cost billions of pounds to fit and buy by shopkeepers and the like. They have an identification rate of the police of about 10%. So 90% of the people caught on those high-quality cameras, like Paige described, are simply walking away. And retrospective CCTV, that after, when you've got an image of somebody actually committing a crime, most people have no objections to it. This live facial recognition is all very well to target very serious crime. Is there a child molester on the street? Is there a terrorist wandering down the street? But the fact is just scanning everybody. People are always going to question that. And the easiest way to to target thieves. And this, again, this Matthew Barber from Thames Valley Police, I have told him personally his force has hundreds of unidentified images of shoplifters which facial recognition and human super recognisers could identify, and what you do is you link them together. I linked one man to 43 crimes by CCTV images, my team. And if you do it systematically, you can get the worst and most prolific thieves and you can put them in jail. So facial recognition on the street is very, very good if we're looking for terrorists, child molesters, people who are going to commit wicked and evil crimes. But the fact that all these crimes, whether it's in a major supermarket, little shop, Paige's handbag shop, are captured on CCTV. She says she's got high quality CCTV. It's the fact that
what's next.
It's what's next, and the police don't get the images, and even if they get them, they often don't. Well, 6-7% of them are identified. They have to improve that, and we could really, that's the way to crack down on prolific criminals. And then the courts have to make sure that they put them away, so there's a consequence to their actions.
Is it as straightforward as simply saying, right, we've got facial recognition technology, we're going to put that on the screen, we're then going to put the CCTV on the screen, it matches it up, and is that essentially how it works in layman's terms?
Yeah, so you get an image of the thief, and the police national computer has all these mugshots. Also, you've got your local officers who know the local thieves. So most people who go shoplifting don't travel far. They're local ne'er-do-wells. You have got organised gangs who would move from county to county. And in that sense, there's a national fingerprint database, there's a national DNA database. There isn't a national database of CCTV images that we could use to crack down on those organised thieves. But many shoplifters are literally local ne'er-do-wells, and they need to not be charged with one crime, they need to be linked to 10 or 20, so when they go before the court, they can be dealt with properly and locked away.
Let me put a point to you from Simon, who says, after the incident on the tube the other day, you know, the one we're talking about where the guy exposed himself, what is the point of the public getting involved? I mean, that's a reasonable question.
It is absolutely a reasonable question, because there you had the man who was naked, you had people given a reasonable request, pull your trousers up, there was an old man, then he refused to do so, and people looked to be doing a reasonable thing. The next thing you know, the British Transport Police are saying we want to question these individuals. So again, if you get hold of a shoplifter, you headlock him, you drag him to the floor, people are really concerned that the police will be focusing on their actions and not those of the thief. And that's really bad in this country. And with British police, and I keep saying this, used to be the best in the world. Where did we lose it? How did we come to the point where trust and confidence in the police is at rock bottom?
It's a very good point.